Alright.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between.
Hello.
Welcome to TrebleChin Entertainment. We are
live.
not in our normal recording studio.
No, we are live at 54th Street here at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, about 10-ish. We just saw a movie.
David refuses to call it such. But we saw Ratchet and Clank.
How dare you stand where they stood? It
is basically the first video game movie of this year that we talked about in one of our other videos. Go check that one out.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd be good. I hoped really hard.
Yeah?
I had no reason to. And that's why my dreams were crushed. I should have followed John Goodman's advice from this movie and said, dream smaller. That way you won't be disappointed.
Yeah. So the movie itself is meh?
Terrible. The word is terrible.
I wouldn't say terrible.
This is the hill I'm gonna die on. That movie is fucking awful. I'm sorry.
Well, and see, here's the dynamic with this.
Yes,
Davey is a fan of the series.
I am
Sorry, we're trying something out. We're trying a new idea of us seeing a movie and like recording in a place where different backgrounds.
Yeah.
So this may be the only time.
Yeah.
But
I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank fan, and I was expecting, based on the game that this movie's tied in with, that came out,
it's the same story.
It's the exact same story, which is the first problem, but I'll get to that. I was expecting that it would be as great as that game was, because I wasn't expecting that game to be great, but it was. It was everything I wanted from a reboot of Ratchet and Clank. And this movie kind of almost ruined it. Like, I still enjoyed my experience with the game, but looking at that movie and looking back at how similar what the story they were trying to tell was to the game, I'm like, maybe the story wasn't that great. Maybe it was masked by how long it was. But then I think like there was some stuff that was just an issue with pacing in the movie.
Yeah, because as you mentioned before, they tried to fit the 8-hour story of a video game into like an hour.
Yeah, which doesn't work at all. And I understand that in our earlier video I was talking about Prince of Persia and how it changed everything about the story to make it a movie.
Yeah.
Which, that took it a little bit too far, because like there's like a horror element to the Prince of Persia game.
Yeah.
Whereas there was none in that movie. Terrible movie. But this was a situation where they were telling the exact same story and using cutscenes from the game in the movie.
Yeah.
Or rather, the game used clips from the movie as cutscenes.
I think it's just kind of on both sides of that.
Yeah.
I think both are guilty of both.
Which the pre-rendered cutscenes in the game were partially some of the worst parts of the game, because they looked worse than the in-engine gameplay, which is something that shouldn't happen. And
that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it was gross. And like, moving on to the way this movie's animated, it's disgusting looking. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's bad. It's not a good looking movie.
I don't know. I'm kind of almost opposite on all of your points. I thought that the animation of it, besides like the citizens of the one planet that the Space Rangers are on, whatever they're called, Galaxy Rangers,
the Galactic Rangers.
They're the Space Rangers now. Like their animation was kind of funky looking, but like Ratchet's like the main characters look phenomenal to me. Now, that might also be because I haven't played the games. I've never played any of these games before, and this was the introduction to this world for me.
Yeah.
And like there are some parts of it that I noticed like that does like the lip sync at times is kind of awful.
The lip sync is awful. The lighting is terrible. Like really, really bad. And the particle
It's not Mazes and Monsters.
and the particle effects are non-existent. Like when things exploded, there was just kind of a cloud of explosion in front of them.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, like whenever they blow up the ship at the beginning. We have done things. We are winning. The Royals game is happening, and we are now winning. We have done it.
The Royals are winning.
But like, and so they blow up the ship, and there's like this big cloud of dust, and I'm waiting for like debris to start falling out of it, and it doesn't. Like, okay. We apparently disintegrated it. Yeah, that's good. That's phenomenal.
And like the traveling element of the game, like this is supposed to be like about Ratchet's journey across the galaxy and like seeing new parts of the world because he's been stuck working in that garage his whole life.
Yeah.
Like it's supposed to be about him going out and experiencing the galaxy for the first time, and the movie doesn't translate.
Yeah,
which is angering.
Yeah, and I get that.
And also there were like 20-minute sections of this movie that were trying to make me laugh. They were trying really hard.
They were really hoping,
and they weren't funny. Nope. It just wasn't funny. The funniest parts of the movie were in the game already. So I saw it. I saw the best parts of this terrible movie, and I got to play an incredible game at the same time. I wasted time.
Surrender.
Wasted money.
I'm listening.
That was one part that was not in the game.
Oh, it wasn't?
That was hilarious. Yeah.
But like, and I get those. There were a lot of forced jokes that did not work.
Like the entire beginning.
Yeah, the beginning and a lot of the middle.
And there was a lot of funny stuff in the game. Like at the very beginning, because it's supposed to be like Quark in prison telling his side of the story. And it's hilarious. And there are sections of, like, there are parts of the story that just don't make any sense. The guy who had like read about it and heard about it was like, that didn't happen. He's like, okay, fine. Sport. There is greatness in the story, and none of it made it into the movie.
Yeah,
and that's it's just bad. It's not good.
Well, here is the thing, and it's not necessarily a good way to start off this video game movie kickstart.
Yeah.
It's not really a good way to start it. However, I can say this wholeheartedly, that this movie had the Jar Jar effect. in that, now that I have seen this movie, and I have seen elements of it that I really like, I want to go and play the games.
Yeah.
Because, like Jar Jar in Star Wars, he is the worst part of that movie. However, kids growing up with that movie that had Jar Jar in it, and they enjoyed Jar Jar when they were little, are now super mega Star Wars fans that will never let go. Like this one right here. This guy. So, and like, I love the characters in it.
Yeah, it has 3 incredible characters.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank as one.
Yeah.
Captain Quark.
Yes.
And Dr. Nefarious.
Yeah.
And that has...
I also kind of like the Oracle, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
The support chick that does the intel and strategy and whatnot that nobody listens to.
Yeah, she's a fun character and a good voice actor. That's Rosario Dawson. She's great.
Yeah. I thought she was one of the better ones. And John Goodman's there.
John Goodman's there.
Same with Sylvester Stallone.
John Goodman's there to lure in the audience. Like, Paul Giamatti, Rosario Dawson,
Sylvester Stallone,
John Goodman, and Sylvester Stallone are all there to lure in a movie-watching audience.
Yeah.
They are not at their best. They don't want to do this. And you can tell.
Especially Sylvester.
Yeah. You can
that
tell.
one was bad.
You can tell they don't want to do this. Like, I feel like there are parts of Paul Giamatti's dialogue where he's just going, "Oh, why am I doing this?"
Yeah, it feels like it.
Because, like, most of his jokes were the ones that didn't make me laugh.
Yeah.
That were trying really hard to.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Was Paul Giamatti's character, Sylvester Stallone, in the games before?
Paul Giamatti was. Paul Giamatti was in the game. Like, the game version of this. I don't know if he was in the ones before. But Sylvester Stallone was not the voice actor in the game.
Yeah.
John Goodman was not the voice actor in the game. Rosario Dawson was in the game. Paul Giamatti was in the game. But there were parts, like, there was the equivalent of that beginning part where he's kind of pitching his idea. It was kind of like a hush-hush commercial that you see on an infobot.
Yeah.
And, like, it never got released, but, like, you're just like, holy shit, they're trying to destroy the galaxy. Like, if that was in the movie, that would have been hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yeah. And I think that's we don't have a lot of space on this, but I think that kind of sums up what this movie is.
Yeah.
It's basically a commercial.
Yeah.
For the video game series, and as like a reboot to it, because like since this movie came out, I know I am excited to go and play the game, and I'm sure that it has also lured in some other people to go and play the game.
I hope, but like I can't make an accurate. Be an accurate judge of how someone who hasn't played the games is going to see this one. Like you are that.
I actually did enjoy it.
Yeah.
And Davey will kill me later. But
it's fine.
No, it's not.
It's fine, but like I can't be an accurate judge because watching it, I thought that if I didn't play the new Ratchet and Clank game, this would not make me want to play
But you have played them in the past.
But I played them in the past, and I played the new Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah.
So I can't be an accurate judge, but for me, it's just it's just wrong. It just feels wrong to me.
Oh yeah.
Because it feels lazy. It feels phoned in. It just doesn't feel like they put enough time, effort, or money into it.
No. And there was a lot of studios.
There were like 7 production companies on this movie, but it feels like they all gave like $50. Like they just kind of threw in their lunch money and let's make a movie. And they took like stuff from the game because, hey, the work's already done for us. But it's not.
And that's not how you make a video game movie.
That's not how you make a video game movie. Like, I understand. I've been asking for a video game movie that keeps to the video game story, but
this is a little too close.
Yeah, telling the exact same story from an 8-hour video game in an hour and a half movie doesn't work. Like, just doesn't.
It could have worked, but the way that they did it in like just taking the cutscenes from the game and putting them into a movie and changing very minor things so they don't have to do a lot of work is not the way to go about that.
Yeah.
Like they could have easily like animated a lot more stuff to like change how things work in the movie.
Yeah.
Or even made the movie longer.
Yeah. That like if they had some of that exploration stuff, if they had Quark actually like being mad at Ratchet before he's told to be, like he is in the game, that would have been great.
Yeah.
And like even if they had a little bit of that stuff, it would have been great. And if they had more of the really good stuff from the game that was done basically in the same engine as this movie was, would have been great. But as it stands, it's just not. What's your score, Drew?
I would say maybe a 3.5 out of 6, or 3.5 out of 6. Like it's not the worst thing ever. There are plenty of worse movies out there, and I found it enjoyable enough that it wasn't totally a waste of money. But I liked it. I liked the characters. I thought the animation was fine. But I haven't played the game, and I really want to go and play these games now because I want to know more about these characters. I want to hear more of James Arnold Taylor because that man's voice is so different in literally every role that he plays. Like,
Believe me, the universe is better explored and the characters are better explored in the 8 video games that exist.
Yeah. I think it's a good introduction for people who have never heard of, or like maybe they've heard of Ratchet and Clank, but they've never played it, seen anything of it, and just like as an introduction to the characters and like what things happen. I thought it's a pretty entertaining movie. So 3.5 out of 6.
I give it
not quite a 4.
I give it a 2 out of 6.
Yeah.
I really dislike this movie a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you've played the games, you probably will too, which is not how this should work. Like, people who haven't played the games should be the ones on the lower end of the spectrum, not necessarily hate it, but like they should be the ones on the lower end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And like the true hardcore fans should be like, this is really awesome.
Well, actually,
but like
I watched Civil War and it was wrong.
Yeah, but like I I see absolutely no reason to buy a ticket to see this movie. Like, the only reason I would watch this movie, if I had never watched it before, I would, like, if it came bundled with the game later down the line, or was on Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Don't spend extra money on this movie, because it's not good.
Well, and here is my spiel as well with this. Like, if you have a PlayStation 4, then go buy the game. If you don't have the PlayStation, and you probably won't be getting one, I would maybe recommend this movie if you're interested in the Ratchet and Clank games, but you don't want to shell out real money for it. Then maybe go and see this with somebody, or bring your kids, or even just sit in the theater alone by yourself. That's fine too.
Wouldn't even say that. I would say pick up a PS2 on the cheap and play the old games.
Well, yes. But, like,
that's better.
If you don't have those, because those are archaic at this point.
You can pick up a PS2 at vintage stock pretty cheap.
Yeah, but that's still archaic.
And you can get the game there, too.
Yeah. Again, archaic technology people don't like doing nowadays for whatever reason.
But that's our review of Ratchet and Clank. He's okay with it. I am not.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. If you've seen Ratchet and Clank, leave a comment down below of what you thought of it. If you played the game, let us know what you thought of the game. I love the game. I did a review that we haven't put up yet because my computer's being stupid, but I gave it a 5 out of 6.
Huh.
Only 5. Only 5.
All right.
But hopefully that video will go up.
Also tell us what you think about, like, this format. Unfortunately, like, we chose the patio because it would be quieter, and then as we ate and we were finishing,
and the Royals started winning.
Well, more people came in, because, like, when we came in, there were like 5 other people back here.
Yeah.
And now it is back pretty empty, and the Royals, I think, have won.
That's great.
I think we won.
Yeah.
But and so hopefully, if we tell us what you think about this format, if you like it, for like different settings instead of, say, in the Star Wars Armada thing in the file cabinet in the background.
Yeah.
Tell us what you thought. Share on Facebook, all that type of stuff. And until next time, I guess we'll see you.
Take it easy.